started here. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining the Wednesday, March 9th, 2022 voluntary quarterly meeting for the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit. As you all know, we do have standing room only in our offices for the number of people who wanted to join us today, as well as a number of individuals who are joining us via online. So again, thank you, everyone. And for those who are watching this via YouTube, in terms of the recording, we really do appreciate you taking the time to watch this, as we do have some exciting things to share with you as employees to show you that we keep on keeping on as we continue to thrive and come out of this pandemic and start to really go forward. So I'm going to start us off today, and so the very first thing I wanted to share is that we are seeing a great reduction when it comes to positive cases, as well as the number of close contacts that have been reported to us. And so that is great news. I know that that is a trend that is occurring all throughout the county. And so let's hope and knock on wood that this is truly the light at the end of the tunnel as we move through this traumatic time period as an organization, as a society, that truly the end is near. We still encourage you to keep yourself safe, following basic hygiene when it comes to stopping the spread of germs and things like that. I am happy to share that throughout the organization, a super majority of our sites are now mask optional. We do have some instances where we do still have staff that need to wear masks, as well as the students. Those primarily are sites that are not operated by us, but we provide staffing for that particular program. So we do see things are starting to open up, and so I'm sure everyone is extremely happy about that. So as a result of things beginning to ease up, we are going to be able to hold our all-staff celebration day in person that is scheduled for Wednesday, April 13th. We are going to be at the community college in Youngwood in the auditorium, where we will be celebrating recent retirees, also those who have achieved 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 35 years of service for the organization. Believe it or not, we have about 3 years of people to celebrate in retirees, and also specific year accomplishments. So have a lot of celebrations that we need to do because, believe it or not, the last time we were all together as an organization was March 2019. It's just incredible to think it's been that long since we've all been together. So very happy to share that. Also, wanted to share that as an organization, we had the pleasure of hosting an historic event on Friday, February 25th, where we hosted the Pennsylvania Association Intermediate Unit time capsule dedication. And that time capsule will forever be housed here at the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit. And that time capsule has been officially moved. It's still under lock and key to our front lobby. So when you come into the front lobby, make sure that you check it out. It's pretty cool. It has many time capsule boxes from all of the intermediate units, our 17 school districts, a couple of our non-public schools, and then all of our programs within the intermediate unit, from Clairview to the detention center, every early intervention classrooms. It's pretty cool. There are, I believe, 82 boxes in the time capsule. So that'll be a trivia question someday. How many time capsules are in the official time capsule? Will be definitely a trivia question at some point. But there were so many people to thank who contributed to that to that event. All over statewide, folks within our organization. It truly was a special day. And I can't thank everyone enough for what a successful day. We had we had superintendents, we had board members, we had county elected officials, we had state elected officials, we had Deputy Secretary Sherry Smith from PDE, we had John George, PAIU Executive Director. So we had a lot of dignitaries that attended in person as well as online. And our most important dignitaries that were there were a group of Clairview students that came to serve as greeters, as well as Kyler was the individual who led us into the Pledge of Allegiance. And it's those same students that provided the security for the cupcake table until the end of the event. So they did an excellent job. Now, you should know that those individuals did officially receive an official certification for their service on that day, as well as an official invitation when we open this thing up in 2072. So I know all of you are planning to be there. I'm hoping to be there as well. But again, it was just a great day for the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit and being state leaders. Truly, that day we were perceived and recognized as state leaders, and it's thanks to all of you that we've been able to make that happen. Alrighty. Last but not least, before we move into financial services by Lynn Liu, another piece of great news, and that is we are starting to see an uptick in the number of requested services coming from our district. So as things are beginning to open up, as things are getting prepared for the next school year, we are starting to see a great uptick in the requests that districts are having upon our services. And so what that tells us is that the trust in this organization continues to grow, the quality of our services continue to grow, and our reputation is stronger than ever among our school districts. And so keep up the great work with that, because that's what we do. We are here to serve our school entities, and we are doing a fantastic job, and we can measure that by the number of requests that we're getting for increased services. So thank you everyone for allowing me to share that update. I'm going to move it now to Lynn Liu for financial services. Lynn.
Thank you, Dr. Conway. Just a couple of things. I feel like we are always kind of rotating the similar things every time I talk to you. Every quarter, we tend to do the same thing year after year, but this year is a little different. We just got the board approval on our general operating budget for 22-23. I can't believe that was already underway, but we're in the throes of about 30 more budgets for student services activities and different programs. So those will be forthcoming to the board shortly. But we also have, in the last year, been pretty inundated with additional grants, not just grants that folks are getting through things like RK Mellon or the Benedum Foundation, but also federal grants that are coming through PDE that we have to manage on behalf of non-public schools. PDE cannot give those funds directly, excuse me, to the non-pub schools. So they use the IUs as that liaison to do all that work. So we had a $2 million grant that got funded, partially funded so far for EANS 1, and we are going to start round of EANS 2, which could be very similar amounts of money, if not a little bit more, for our non-pub schools. So we've been really growing a lot with our grant accounting. I do want to thank my staff, as always. They keep me grounded, and I don't know what I would do if they weren't here, because I certainly couldn't get all their work done in mine too. So that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thank you, Lynn, very much. Appreciate the update. And I believe we have Matt. You're going next, correct?
I am, Dr. Conway. Thank you.
You bet.
Well, each month, the Student Services tries to highlight a different portion. And because we're getting to that point in the year, there's so much happening. I'm going to reserve the time this month for everyone inside of our intermediate unit to see some of the ongoing work of our training and consultation team. Came out of a great idea where we will have a monthly flyer coming out of TAC. I know most people can register for these courses via our frontline system, sort of our front door for registration. But this document is going to be distributed each month just to sort of as a reminder, hey, this is what's going on with TAC this month. because TAC is a federally funded, no-cost resource to our school districts and to our own employees. And so when you look down through any of these asynchronous courses that the 7 consultants have built across the last 18 months, they're going to continue to grow this. This is just sort of a snapshot of what we have available right now. You can see everywhere from adaptations, more under educational benefit, to assistive technology, to technology itself, such as Nearpod, and things like our gifted boot camp. I see Natalie on the call, so like she leads our gifted boot camp. And so in addition to that, we continue to offer youth mental health first aid as a process of our PCCD grant and other supportive measures. And that goes the whole way through sessions coming up in March through July 19th. And those are one-day sessions, high level, real in-depth learning about suicide prevention and how to support young adults and youth with mental health issues, as well as our ongoing consultative services for positive behavior interventions and support. So this is sort of our new marketing campaign for TAC. We're putting this out there, and as we do for our internal employees, we do this for districts as well. If you have an idea for a professional learning idea, we often collaborate with curriculum services. We like collaborating across district or IU divisions rather. You just have to fill out a TAC launch form. Sometimes the idea stays in TAC, sometimes it's a collaboration between the two. And we also want to point out here, Act 48 hours for teachers, paraprofessional hours available for paraprofessionals anywhere in Westmoreland County. Just an example of something that our division is doing. I want to highlight that for everyone and thank TAC for their efforts. That's all I have today, Doc.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Matt. We're now going to go to Tim Hamill, who has a 29-minute presentation.
Thank you, Dr.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I was told by Eric I had to be shorter than that, so I will. All right. So just a few items that I wanted to share that were kind of key over the last quarter here. Many of you have probably heard the state legislation that was enacted back in December, referred to as Act 91, created a classroom monitor certification for school districts. The Department of Education leaned heavily on intermediate units to build out a required course for anybody interested in that certification. In order for somebody to achieve Act 91 certification, they have to take a classroom management course. Now, we were given some very broad parameters and then asked to roll out the course to support our region. And I have to thank the curriculum services team, specifically Becky and Jason, Becky Henderson and Jason Boone, for their heavy work on getting that out the door and ready to go. And it is currently running and live, and we have a number of people who are currently taking the course and a number that have already completed it. It's a rolling admissions kind of circumstance, but really an all-out effort to get that up and running. And I thank the entire team for making that happen. Secondly, the state has released the assessment data for the 2021 school year. That creates a lot of interesting conversations out there in the field, because the data, as you can probably guess, is quite different from previous years, in that it's skewed by some of the circumstances regarding COVID and the number of students who actually tested, the circumstances in which they were learning, and so on. So the data has a very unique look to it this year. And so there's a whole new story that surrounds that data. Currently, in fact, due to be released here probably within the next day, Jason Boone, our resident data expert, has been working on a report for our county specifically that'll be shared out and given to our local school districts. It kind of helps them navigate some of the local data and understand it a little better. It provides a nice service to the districts in terms of understanding some of those intricacies that go with the data this year. It's always a complex thing, but this year, much more difficult than usual. So many thanks to Jason on that one for getting that done. Shifting over to ESL, I think we mentioned in our last quarterly meeting that we may or may not have, I don't remember, but we were at that stage of discussion where our ESL needs are growing throughout the region, and we are also needing to look at our structure in terms of our teaching staff. So we are actively moving in the direction of a full-time model for our ESL teachers. This is new, and will also drastically impact our ability to deliver the service in upcoming years. We have seen numbers more than double over the last couple of years, and the prognosis here is that it will continue to grow quite a bit in the upcoming years. And we need to be ready for that. We need to be able to support a staff that can provide the service needed to our districts. So Jody Lucente has been working along with Susan McKeever to build out some very important pieces of this pie, if you will, and get us to the point where we're ready to move forward with that. So we're getting close. Hopefully soon be able to announce that we're ready to move on that. Next up, we have a couple of really important work groups that we've established with curriculum services. One of those is the statewide system of support work group that we have created. This is a work group that is made up of superintendents and curriculum council members who will be joining us as well. Basically a small work group designed to help us move all of our work, aligning our work, if you will, with the district needs. We've been given a lot of latitude by the Department of Education this year to use our statewide system of support funding to address our own specific needs locally. And we thought there was really no better way to do that than to have a work group of stakeholders that could help guide us and get us in the right direction there. So it's all about working with them to build and create the solutions that we need coming up. The second of those two groups is a synchronous learning work group, which we've seen the need grow over the last 2 years for a focus not just on asynchronous online learning, but synchronous online learning. Many of our schools are finding the need to bring that on board, and we have a lot of work to do in that realm. Becky Henderson is leading a group of us to really help the districts forge a solution in that realm. Some of our districts have already moved in that direction. We're trying to build a solution that everybody can take advantage of. And so we will be working with that group here over the coming months to create some solution that can be implemented next school year. Last but not least, I wanted to mention, end on a high note here, because this was a great day, and I think it's something we need to recognize here. The academic quiz was held last week on Friday. We had 14 teams. I think that's right. I see Natalie nodding, so I think I'm right. 14 teams here in the IU. It was a great day of competition with the kids here on site. Great big thanks goes to Natalie from Student Services for heading up the project. And I know she'll be the first to tell you that there were many, many people involved in making that work, from student services to curriculum services to tech and infrastructure, all over the IU, from setting up the room and the custodial help needed there to the technology, John Lohr building an app to score and keep track of things and time. It was really an amazing effort and a great group effort from the entire organization. I think that just a great big round of applause to everybody. The 3 finalists that day were PT, Hempfield, and Franklin Regional, with Penn Trafford coming out at the end as the winner. So they will represent our IU at the statewide competition. So really excited about that. And I'll end on that note. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Tim. Appreciate all of the information. And last but not least, Eric Vaughn, the floor is now yours.
Okay, I will be brief. The main issue or the main topic that I wanted to bring up today was just cybersecurity awareness. With everything that's happening around the world, it's very important that we all remain vigilant and try to do our best on keeping our systems secure. There have been a lot of phishing emails that have been circulating lately. A lot of those, or most of those, are looking as if they're coming from Dr. Conway, but I can pretty much guarantee he's not going to be sending anyone to Giant Eagle to get iTunes cards to send anywhere. So just
Texas Roadhouse maybe, but not that.
Okay, so just keep that in mind. John Lohr, he doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to ask him to rerun an abridged version of a PLC that he ran a few years ago, just related to cybersecurity, how to identify when you get an email, what to look for, when things don't look quite right, how to identify that it isn't coming from Dr. Conway, that it's really, a bogus email. So he is going to run that. The next thing, we are going to be rolling out a solution for authenticating with devices. It's called multi-factor authentication, or MFA. This is basically a second form of identification. When you put in your login information, you will either get a push notification to your cell phone, or you can have a physical key that looks like a USB key in your computer. You use that as a second form of authentication to help keep your login information secure, as well as all the systems that you're logging into. So this is happening across the county. This is a push from insurance brokers to meet new cybersecurity insurance requirements. So you're going to be seeing this not just at WIU, but in the districts that you work in as well. So we're doing a controlled rollout. This will be happening over the next several months. Our plan is to be fully implemented by July 1 to meet the requirements for our insurance renewals at that time. So there'll be more information coming out on MFA. Last, we're going to be running an Office 365 training. This will be a virtual, either via Zoom or via Teams. Mariana Mormack and Dave Regula are going to be leading this. So they're going to focus on the Office 365 web applications, primarily with a heavy focus on OneDrive and the file sharing mechanisms associated with OneDrive. So our goal is to host this training the last week of, one of the days of the last week of March. So we'll be sending an email out. We're going to aim for a 3 o'clock time frame to try to give everyone the opportunity to hop on that training and just look at some of the new functionality and features of the web apps on the Microsoft side of the applications that we use. So with that ends my report.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eric. And thanks for promoting my Texas Roadhouse gift card collection. So, all right. But no, seriously, though, thank you for giving us that update on the MFA. Basically, we will not be able to get insurance if we don't implement or be able to afford the insurance if we don't implement something to that. So I know I was part of the test group with that, and it is really not that much of an inconvenience. It's just we do it for Amazon, we do it for other things, and so it's just one of those things that we're going to have to do, with our jobs. So thanks, Eric, for sharing that. All righty. Well, are there any questions from those who have joined us virtually? Feel free to put it into the chat or unmute your mic. You're more than welcome to pose a question to anyone but me. Go ahead. Just joking. All right. So Becky Henderson, did I see that you raised your hand? No, you didn't.
Just wanted to know if there were gift cards other than Texas Roadhouse that you were still trying to solicit from us.
No gift card.
Yeah. Nah,
Ask
just
Dr. Thomas.
But great question, Becky. Great question. All right. Any others that you may want to throw out there? All right. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today. Just remember, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. It's going to be a nice sunny day sometime soon. We put the clocks forward this weekend, so we're going to have more sunshine, more light, and yeah, exciting times ahead. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. I'm going to officially end the recording.